Hi everybody, welcome along to Amy Stadium. It's Sunday football this afternoon. It's Port Adelaide against Carlton. I guess the good news for the Power, Dave, is that Port's future very much in their own hands.
Absolutely. They get the 4 points today, and then they take a fair bit of weight off their shoulders.
Sure.
They've got a couple of games left, one at home in the last round against North Melbourne, and they'd expect to win that. So absolutely, if they get the points, they're well on their way to finals action.
One late change for Carlton. Hampson comes out and cloaked. Bit of a surprise there. I read, I think it was yesterday in the newspapers in Melbourne, he was gone for the season. So a miracle recovery by Cameron Cloak.
Or just don't believe everything you read. Absolutely. What he does, he gives a lot of strength. He's a big man. They need a big defender to go with him if he does go forward. And he is surprisingly very, very good in windy conditions, believe it or not.
I'll take your word for it. Port Adelaide, 5 changes, another late one for them as well. And coming into their team, I think you can see his name there. Number 14, Paul Stewart, replaces Surgeon.
Yeah, he does. They've got some quality coming back. Peter Burgoyne, Josh Carr, they didn't have a great game last time out here. They'll want to avenge that. Salopek, he's a clever player. I don't know why he's been in the other side. It has been form, it's not injury. And Brett Ebert, well, he's the classy one that Carlton will really need to defend very heavily because he can put together multiple goals.
So much for the Power to play for today. You reckon if they win today, they'll probably play finals footy. If they lose, then their hopes may be remote. But they've been walking that tightrope for a while now. And for Carlton, well, win tonight, they can be as high as 5th. They could go over Adelaide. But if they lose, well, they may have given up their chance of playing top 4, that's for sure. They're in the finals, you'd reckon, for certain. Ricky Olorenshaw, a lot to talk about today. That weather's strange too, Rick.
That's right, Mac. It's a fine day here in Adelaide. It was 27 degrees here, but the wind is going to be definitely a factor. We heard Brett Ratton say before the game that the sides will have to handle the wind. Look at the wind now, it's blowing across the ground, so you will find a lot of the play on the outer wing, and I reckon it's probably favouring the right of the screen, probably about a goal or two. Strange one too on the plane on the way over. I read the newspaper in Melbourne. It said that Cameron Cloak pinged a hamstring at training on Friday and would miss the rest of the year. And I rocked up to Amy Stadium, and here he is taking his spot in a lineup. Also, Jacob Surgeon's out of the side with a hip complaint. And what about Dominic Cassisi? Had surgery during the week. We saw him 2 weeks ago have a depressed fracture of his forehead. Played in a helmet last week and had surgery to get that fracture repaired on Monday night. You'll see him wearing the headband today.
And Rick, so much going on. I know you were looking at Brogan and Cruiser and the rest of the mob. Josh Carr on his way through, so a fiery start before that ball's bounced.
Yeah, that Dean Brogan, he's a subtle son of a gun. Set to go. Sunday football, opening bounce. The umpires this afternoon, Kennedy, McLaren and Camelins. Burgoyne, smothered kick. Stevens over the football. Down he goes.
High ball, not in the back.
Just one of the matchups to keep an eye on. Armfield's going to go to Pearce. He's played on him a couple of times and kept him pretty quiet, so he's right beside him. When Pearce is playing well, Port Adelaide seem to be going a lot better.
Brogan taps it down. Burgoyne again the target. Thomas. Boak kicks it down towards half forward. On one knee. Ebert kept it alive. Boak followed up. Thomas. Boak. 75 metres out towards full forward. Dropping back Westhoff.
Good kick. Really good kick. They got it in early. And Boak's second and third efforts then, Bruce, were outstanding.
Just really interesting, Dennis. Thornton didn't start on Westhoff. He started on Trigger, and they just made the switch about 30 seconds ago. And Thornton went back to Westhoff, and here's what's happened.
And Thornton likes to play that way. He likes to play out in front and make the kicker make the decision, and he did on that occasion and put it over the top to a very tall man.
The neatly coiffed Westhoff comes in and kicks the goal.
Perfect start for Port Adelaide. They got the clearance, they're able to hold the ball up. It looked like Carlton were going to get it away. Really good talk there. Corns could have run onto the footy, but obviously got the word from Boak not to go near it. And that's a wonderful confidence booster there for Westhoff early on. A bit of a confidence player too, where if he gets his hands on it early, he seems to be in the game a lot longer. Good start for him. There's Joseph and Corns going head to head.
So Brogan still getting into Cruiser. Westhoff's got a great record against the Blues. Twice he's kicked 4 goals against them. He averages close to 3 goals a match. So that's a good start. Cruiser, of course, well, there's a bit of Favola history, a lot of Favola history, but there's a fair bit of Cruiser history against the Power.
I reckon we might get a few of those today because it is so windy here.
Yep.
Cruiser ignited them in that match when they came from nowhere last year and were 5 goals down at three-quarter time and won. Kicked 3 on that occasion. Brogan wins the tap. Judd through the centre. And then Chaplin just held up for a moment by Simpson. Sean Burgoyne did well in the end, I think, to get a handle away. Walker, well done, Chaplin. Roden, Gibbs' tackle looked good, I reckon. And then they worked it beautifully to Murphy. Gee, Murphy brought down by Sean Burgoyne.
Mark Murphy.
He's hurt him too, I think.
Up with the shoulder.
It's a tough hombre too, Murphy.
Well, if Port keep this intensity up for the next couple of hours, they'll be in this match.
That's not a pretty way to hit the ground with one arm pinned.
Halpin drops an easy mark. Cassisi got rid of the helmet this afternoon. Cracker hard against the boundary line. Carried forward in the tackle, holding the ball. What's the call?
Yep, incorrect disposal.
Okay.
He had a prior opportunity and didn't get rid of it then.
Umpire Kennedy making the call back after some wicks. Trekking on the Kokoda Trail. In trouble, Pierce taken down. Armfield over the top of him. Joseph busy in those packs. He loves that situation. Ball spills out of bounds.
1-on-1 footy at the moment. All going head to head. Bauer's gone to tread rope. Cassisi there, you don't often start the game with tape around your head, but he's got that heavy knock a couple of weeks ago, so you want to protect that.
He's had an operation this week, actually, as Rick told us.
Was depressed, wasn't it? So they
had an indentation in his forehead, and he had that lifted out. So he's done a good job not to miss a game in the meantime.
Well, you need your captain, you need your leaders out there this time of the year when you're fighting for a finals position.
So Brogan and Cruiser.
Too high in here.
So Houlihan's free kick.
No advantage there, mate.
A lot of numbers back now.
I think Lee mentioned this on Friday night, or Bucks, Dennis, at the advantage rule this week. Umpires have been quick not to give it this in this round.
Bucks reckons it's gone.
Yep. Well, Houlihan's kick is a shocker. It is a windy day, but I don't think even we can forgive that for that now. Cassisi got it from Burgoyne to Boat to Cracker. Normally dangerous in this situation. It's a terrible kick. He had a little bit more time and he coughed it up. Wiggins gets it from Thornton.
Goes to the outer side, Wiggins. Cruiser takes the mark out there. Unruffled by Brogan. Not much to kick to. Now there is in the middle. Gibbs, but doesn't go there. Goes wide. Murphy. Did he have the football? Play on's the call. Murphy hard against the boundary line. Corralled by Cassisi. Loops a hand pass over the top. Thumped back by Chad Corns. Murphy another chance then. Fumbles. Goes to ground. Russell so good last week. Hand passes out of bounds.
Well, it's pretty tight footy at the moment. It's a real arm wrestle. Russell is much maligned at times, but gee, he does a job each week.
Burgoyne, well done, Joseph, and now Kane Corns did very well to get it back to Boak, and then Boak kicks it inside 50. Gray just kicked out of it by Russell, and then Bauer made a bit of a blue. Carr slaps it back, and Thornton's happy to roll it over the line, and then quickly on with it and gets it to Robinson, and then Robinson quickly onto it too. So Carlton have done well here.
It's an excellent kick there by Robinson.
So Walker.
Pretty quick 2-man up though, Port Adelaide. Carlton, not a lot of run from behind. They're just sizing each other up at the moment.
Third game back for Walker. Kicks to centre wing.
Chaplin just flies from behind, spoils it out of bounds.
Well, Port Adelaide won the toss, and looking at the flags, they've gone the opposite way. But just watching general play, it's actually favouring them. So a little bit deceptive, the flags up above the stadium.
Cruiser won it down. Judd a fumble. Gibbs has got it to Judd. Hard against the line. Hurried kick. Stewart got a fist on it. Knocked it away. Picked up by Pierce. Back to Stewart. Cassisi in trouble. Taken down.